Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tip Drill Podcast. I'm Reese Holiday, joined as always by Xavier Pereira, and today Cam Newton gets signed by the Patriots, plus a Cardinals rookie drives his car into a lake. We'll talk about that, plus more. All right, so obviously the big headline of this week's NFL news is the Patriots signing Cam Newton. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Newton signed a one-year, $7.5 million deal with the Pats. He will battle it out with Jarrett Stidham for the QB1 spot up in New England. It's going to be interesting to see how Bill uses him. So, will Cam succeed with the Patriots?
I think he will. I like that the Patriots signed him for a cheap deal, 1 year, $7.5 million. And the motto down there in New England is keeping the players in their comfort zone, using what they do best to their advantage, in a sense. If he's good at blitzing, like a linebacker's good at blitzing, he's going to stay on blitzing. They're not going to force him to go into coverage. That's what I really like there. Cam Newton is really good when he's in the pocket. I feel like the injury history with Cam is what really deteriorates his resume. Obviously, the play during the Super Bowl, accountability needs to be on Cam for him to do well in New England. But with Bill Belichick, he's going to find out what Cam does well. And Cam does a lot of things extremely well. So I do think he's going to shine. Jarrett Stidham, obviously, we all know the infamous play that he subbed him out for Tom Brady, and then he instantly threw an interception back with Tom Brady. So I've been very outspoken about Jarrett Stidham. I don't think Jarrett Stidham will be the starting quarterback in New England. But like I said, even with coaches who have left New England, they still stick with the same motto, like Matt Patricia, Brian Flores, Joe Judge. We use the players to what they do best. We don't get them out of their comfort zone, because that's when teams start to lack. And that's something that they do in New England. They get players that people don't think are any good, find what they do best, and they use them for just that. And I feel like with Cam Newton, they're going to find a way to use him extremely well down up there in Boston.
Exactly. I think that the one thing out of many of the things that the Patriots do well is that they create a system that works for the players that they have. They don't try to force anything, like you said. They make sure the players are doing what they do best. And with Cam Newton, I feel like Bill Belichick is going to use him very well. If he can stay healthy, that Patriots team may be a sleeper in the AFC East, especially after the loss of Tom Brady. Everyone thought that they were going to go 8-8, or even worse than that, be a lower team in the AFC. But with the addition of Cam, if they can stay healthy and build a system around him, he may be able to succeed with the Pats and even win another AFC East title. All right, some more Patriots news. The Patriots get fined $1.1 million for the incident with filming the Cincinnati Bengals sideline in 2019. They also lose a 2021 third-round draft pick. This is another thing to add to Bill Belichick and the Patriots' list of scandals that they had in recent years. But I honestly forgot about this incident. I forgot it even happened. I know you forgot about it a little bit too, Xavier. So this doesn't really affect the Patriots at all, I don't think.
Not really. There have been, like you said, it's easier to forget about something like this because of how many major things have occurred. But in a sense, I don't know everything about this incident. I know that they were filming in a place where they shouldn't have been. And was it Bill Belichick sending these guys to go film? I don't know. But I feel like this is a fair punishment for what happened. 1.1 million. Yeah, that's a nice little hit right there. Probably have to cut a few players to save some cap space for 2021. And a third-round draft pick. I mean, Tom Brady was picked up late in the draft, and Bill Belichick usually drafts well, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hit that the Patriots take, but I don't think it's going to do much for what they're trying to do down there, especially not that they got Cam. So,
Yep.
Moving on, the Hall of Fame game that was supposed to be during the first game of this preseason has been canceled. It was supposed to be played by the Cowboys and the Steelers, but it will be postponed until 2021. This is over the health concerns of COVID-19. So, Xavier, this isn't looking good. This certainly isn't a good sign for the upcoming 2020 season.
Yeah, it isn't good for the fans. Obviously, we want football, but this is great for the players. I love that the NFL is taking player safety as their number one priority. And looking at the teams, it was the Steelers and the Cowboys. That's beneficial for both teams right there. Ben Roethlisberger has more time to recover, get back to 100%. Dak Prescott maybe has a little bit more leniency with his contract talks going into further into his $35 million, $36 million, 5-year deal, whatever. I feel like it benefits everybody, especially just the players as just a committee, because player safety is number one priority. It should be first on the list every single time.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing for the NFL to be taking this seriously and not sort of forcing the NFL season to happen. So it's good to see. Definitely a little bit concerning for the upcoming 2020 season, though. I think there hasn't been any word on canceling the regular season. So just this could be just precautionary. But we'll have to see how this plays out, especially with the 2020 season fast approaching. So, sort of relating to the previous news, the NFL is using the first 6 to 8 rows in the stadiums for advertising. They're also doing it for COVID-19 and health concerns, but it's mainly for the ads. I think this is a smart idea for the league, especially with the potential loss of the fans and the fan revenue in the stadiums. So it's a smart way for the league to make more money and to keep things running. So, Xavier, your thoughts?
I like it. I didn't see this coming, where it was more like you're taking away the seating. I thought it was more going to be like advertisements, maybe on the jerseys, maybe on the sidelines. But I do like this. It's another way to just stay safe, and like you said, loss of revenue from not only ticket sales, but product sales. And this is a way to pay the players. This is a way to keep everybody happy. I feel like that's what they're doing right now. It's just major damage control, because you have to find a way to keep the fan base happy. You have to find a way to make ownership happy, and you have to find a way to make players happy. I feel like this is a good median where people aren't buying their yearly tickets. They're giving option to cancel subscriptions and stuff like that. So I feel like the NFL is playing their cards right when it comes to overall health and safety of everybody, not just the players, but everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely for the health concerns. But like I said, another way for the league to sort of fix the problems that not having fans would cause. So another headline for this week's news is a Cards rookie drives his car into a lake. Jeremiah Broswell, who was signed as an undrafted free agent to the Arizona Cardinals, was arrested for a DUI after driving his car into Lake Erie, per Corey Vallis. Report also said that he was still trying to drive his car while it was in the water. I don't know about this, but this is one of the most unfortunate DUI cases that I've heard in the NFL.
This is going to be interesting about how the Cardinals approach this, because of course he's being arrested for DUI, and I feel like if you're the Cardinals head coach, regardless of who this guy is, if it's a proven starter, if it's a rookie, he has the culture in that locker room. I don't think can stand a blow with holding somebody who drove into a lake. I feel like that, like you have to think of yourself. You have to put yourself in the position of the head coach, is what I'm trying to say here. If you want to keep culture clean, if you want to keep a winning culture in that locker room, which is what the Arizona Cardinals want, with additions like DeAndre Hopkins and Isaiah Simmons in the draft, if he's already starting to mess up and he hasn't even started playing for you yet, you probably haven't even met the kid yet in person, and he's already starting to cause problems.
Especially with him being an undrafted free agent.
Exactly.
Too. Like, he's got to prove his worth. And he wasn't drafted, and you got to fight and claw when you're an undrafted free agent to make a roster spot. And this certainly doesn't help for Mr. Broswell. So It's his career may be in jeopardy here, but definitely one of the crazy DUI situations I've heard in the NFL. So I know we talked a little bit about this last week, but the whole situation with Jamal Adams wanting out of New York is apparently all on the shoulders of Adam Gase. And I know that Gase has clashed with players before. Enter Jarvis Landry and Ndamukong Suh from Miami. Me being a Dolphins fan, I experienced the treachery that Adam Gase can put on a team. So this is bad news for the Jets, and certainly for Adam Gase, who will be on the hot seat. I think. I don't think after this stint with the Jets, I don't think he's ever going to be a head coach again, potentially in the NFL. But will Gase ruin the Jets' rebuild, do you think?
I feel like he already has, because, like you said before, in Miami, Jarvis Landry and Ndamukong Suh. Obviously, Ndamukong Suh has had problems in the past, but I feel like he is still a really good defensive lineman. And Jarvis Landry, of course, one of the top 10 wide receivers in the league. You have to also think Robbie Anderson left for a reason, and he hasn't been very vocal about it. Jamal Adams is leaving. These are two big keys in the Jets' offense and defense. Again, Robbie Anderson, your opinions may vary on him. He is a vertical threat, regardless of how you look at it. He'll burn you over the top if you give him a chance. Jamal Adams, of course, the leader of that defense, big key. And if you lose him and Robbie, you're not going to start winning games like that. You are in a rebuild phase, and I feel like with Adam Gase at the helm, it's going to be a long one if the Jets decide to keep him.
Exactly. Especially Dolphins fans, I think they can relate to this. We kind of saw this coming for the Jets. We experienced Adam Gase and what he can do to tear down an entire team with his bad coaching and his bad leadership. And we kind of saw this coming for the Jets. They just didn't see it coming. I thought it was a bad hire in the first place to take Adam Gase to coach the Jets. So I think he's already, like you said, already ruined the rebuild and certainly not looking good for the Jets. All right, so now we're going to go into a little bit of a discussion here. There was a post on the ESPN NFL Instagram that is just really bad. They posted their top 5 worst teams of the decade, and the list goes 2018 Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals at number 1, 2012 Kansas City Chiefs, number 2, number 3, the 2013 Jacksonville Jaguars, number 4, the 2019 Miami Dolphins, and number 5, the 2010 Arizona Cardinals. Now, I don't agree with this list at all. In 2013, the Jacksonville Jaguars went 4-12. In 2013, the Texans went 2-14. The 2013 Jaguars weren't even the worst team in their division, let alone the decade. So this list is just terrible. X, your thoughts?
It's just interesting. Like, of course, on like a sports corporation, sports Instagram,
These guys are professionals.
These are professionals, and of course you want hot takes to keep the fans interested, but y'all out here making hot cakes like it's goddamn IHOP. Like, this is ridiculous. The 0-16 Browns were disgustingly horrible. They were the worst team ever, and that's compared to the 0-16 Lions. I feel like this Browns team was even worse than that. Like you said, the 2-14 Texans. Like, I don't understand this list. I've been trying to find a way to defend ESPN here, but I don't understand it. Like, I feel like this might be the worst teams that stayed healthy throughout. I don't know. I don't find a way.
Like point differential or something.
There has to be something.
I don't know what was going through their head.
How
I don't know what was going through their head.
The 2019 Miami Dolphins were 5th in the draft. The Bingo Bango Bongos went 1st, and that team is horrible, and they stayed healthy.
They were worse. The Dolphins were bad in the first 3 weeks of the season. The Dolphins were terrible in the first 3 weeks of the 2019 season, but they went 5-11. They went 5-11. I don't understand how that can make the top 5, especially with the 2013 Texans going 2-14, and I think it was the 2016 Browns going 0-16. Like, what is that? How is that not on the list? The Browns are the worst team in the decade, and you're not going to put a single one of their teams on the list.
You could probably fill that whole list with just the Browns. 5 spots, I'll give them to the Browns. Top
5 spots to the Browns. You can make top 5 worst seasons for the Browns in the decade.
Sorry, Ohio, you had LeBron. This team's bad. This team's been bad for a while.
This team's not good. And speaking of more bad takes, this one wasn't by ESPN, but this one was by Matt Ryan. And he said that he's the best quarterback in the NFC South. No, Matt. Drew and Tom have been better than you for years, and they've been better than you for your entire career. And Teddy may have a chance to be better than you. This is going to come back to bite Matt Ryan in the butt. I don't know about you, but that's what I think.
Yeah, it's hot in Atlanta. I think Matty Ice is melted by now because Teddy Bridgewater as a backup quarterback, I feel like did better with the Saints than Matt Ryan is doing with the Falcons. I feel like if you take away... Oh, man, I'm like Skip Bayless. If you take away Julio Jones, what does he have? He's really... I don't know. I don't like it. Matty Ice, I don't know. He's not what he used to be. Of course, he took that team to the playoffs with the help of, I would say, a killer defense. Julio Jones and Devontae Adams. I feel like Matt Ryan, at best, on a bad day for Teddy Bridgewater, he's the 3rd best in that division. I mean, if you put up Taysom Hill, Oh man, I don't know. Matty Ice, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Matty Ice, it's hot out in Atlanta. He might have some delusions or something, man.
Some bad takes, man. Some bad takes. Some bad takes this week. That list was bad. Matt Ryan, you're
Mm,
you're just wrong, man. You're just wrong.
that's not good. Stay humble, Matt. Stay humble, Matt.
Stay humble. Stay humble. All
Okay,
right.
okay.
So as always, our last section of the podcast is our too hot, too cold, just right. So Xavier spins a wheel, picks a team for us. We decide whether they're too hot, too overrated, too cold, too underrated. They're just right.
Alrighty. Let's see who. I feel like we'll just keep going with the system we're going. So you'll go first.
Yeah, I'm going first.
Alrighty. Let's see who you get. The Colts.
The Colts, man. I feel like the past few weeks I've gotten teams that people really haven't been talking about. But the Colts this year, new addition with Phillip Rivers. Jacoby Brissett didn't really work out. That project didn't really work out. I think Phillip Rivers is going to do well there. I think analysts and people around the NFL think that the Colts are going to be towards the middle, upper half of the league, and I think that's just right. I think they're going to be mediocre, probably 9-7 at best. So with Phillip Rivers, he's watched. This is probably one of his last seasons in the NFL, if not his last. So we'll see how he does, but they've got good young talent on the Colts, and as well as some veteran presence. One of the best O-lines, I think, in the NFL, with Quinn Nelson anchoring that. But I think the Colts are just right here.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like with all these talks of Phillip Rivers, if he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, if he does really bad, this is really gonna hurt him. But if he does really good, I feel like this is gonna help him a lot. This is his make or break Hall of Fame season right here.
Yeah.
I got the 49ers. Okay. The 49ers for me are such an interesting team because they, of course, yes, they went to the Super Bowl. And you look at the Chiefs, they kept the talent that they had. They added a few key pieces, but they're basically the same Chiefs teams that they were last year, right? The 49ers, kind of like trading DeForest Buckner, getting rid of Deebo Samuel. They
Emmanuel
took,
Sanders.
or Emmanuel
or not
Sanders,
Emmanuel
sorry.
Sanders. Yeah.
They took away what they had, but they also reloaded with it, taking a D tackle in the first round, loading up on offense with the rest of the draft. So it should be interesting how they do as a unit because, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to do well this year. That's a given fact. With such a great quarterback, they won the Super Bowl. The 49ers, for me, people have them going to the Super Bowl again, to the playoffs. I can give them that, but I feel like they're not going to be as good as they were last year. Going, I think it was 12-4 or something like that. So I feel like I would give them a little bit too hot. I feel like they might go a little bit lower than that. I don't know. This team is interesting to me because with Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm, and of course you have Nick Bosa in defense, they have things going for them. And of course they did make it to the Super Bowl. You can't diminish that. That's a fact. They made it to the Super Bowl. So I feel like they're still going to do extremely well. I just don't know if they're going to do as well as they did last year.
That's not scorching hot, like too overrated.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think they're kind of in that middle area, sort of just right, but a little bit too hot. They're warm. They're definitely warm.
They're a little, yeah.
They're a little warm, but I agree. They made a few switches on offense and defense, so we'll see how that works out. But they were one of the rare teams that went from 3-13 to all the way to the Super Bowl. So it's a crazy crazy switch that they flipped. But we'll have to see how they work out in 2020. And I agree. I think they're warm. They're definitely warm.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, I don't know what to tell you.
Bye.